Ah shit, here we go again. It just don't feel right having this little thing being out all open like this. It will catch a virus or something. Get it? Virus? But seriously, I just can't have this open, so before we think about my next step, I wanted to leave a quick FYI. This script and video was made entirely on this goofy Frankenstein of a machine, and I honestly can't believe I would have such a good time with this machine. Honestly, this thing right here could replace my main computer, and I would be just fine with it. Also, I wanted to say thank you on that video I made about the PC, and consider this video as a follow-up or some sort of an update. I don't think I'm done with this machine yet. Why? You'll see why. So, first things first, sell this graphics card. 1GB of VRAM is just not enough in 2024. No matter how good or bad your GPU is, you just can't do shit with it. So, let's sell our disgusting 1GB VRAM GTX 750 because this PC needs some work to be done on it. And what do we have here? The freakiest card of all time. None other than the GT 1030. This was my first GPU I got as an upgrade because I used to rock a GT 730 and I remember it being a pretty huge deal because I could finally run the games that I wanted in much higher graphics. But that was back in 2018. It's been 7 years now, wow. Nonetheless, with this tiny ass GPU we can finally close our side panel, and as you can see here are the remnants of a now unfinished idea, because I don't have the tools and honestly it's just not worth the trouble. But before all that, let's talk about money for a little bit, because this is our €35 gaming PC after all. I sold the 750 that I had for €40 and I got the 1030 for 35. So we're €5 extra now. And what do we do with that money? Nothing. Oops. But I did spend €10 more and got an SSD because Windows on an HDD just makes me physically cringe and makes me want to kill myself. So now that we've installed the GT 1030 and we have an extra gigabyte of VRAM, we can immediately tell the difference in a lot of games. The performance might be the same or in some cases a bit worse, but still we can increase the textures and remove the limit of the 1GB VRAM. Crash Bandicoot used to run perfectly on the GTX 750, but the textures even on low were very blurry. And now on the GT 1030 the textures are still on low, but they're much clearer. So from what I understand, Crash Bandicoot runs very well even on weaker hardware, so let's change up things a bit and try GTA 5. I have the game on my custom settings because I'm playing on a smaller screen and I don't think I can tell much of a difference even if I increase the settings even higher. So yeah, here are the settings. And as you can see, it runs smooth as a butter, no problems here as well. I mean, it's a 10-year-old game at this point. Kind of expected, but yeah man, the 730 that I used to rock, different story man, it could barely run that game. So yeah, if you have the GT 1030 and you want that 2015 experience on mid to low, sometimes high settings, then yeah, the GT 1030 is a great card to have. But now I'm gonna test Red Dead Redemption, because if you remember from the last video, yeah, it couldn't really run it even though it had very good performance. Because of that stupid 1GB of VRAM we had so many issues. So yeah, let's check it out on the GT 1030. And as you can see, all the visual bugs that existed in the GTX 750, gone. Textures load correctly, there are no low LOD models, and the game runs very freaking well. On medium settings I was able to hit over 100 FPS, and for a card in this price range, that's an impressive feat. The extra 1GB of VRAM made a noticeable difference, allowing the game to run without choking on textures or models. And Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare is one of those games that when I start playing, it's really hard to stop playing, man. I was recording this gameplay for so long, it must have been almost like 45 minutes. And yeah, it's a great fucking game. Please give it a try if you haven't. Next up, I tested Warhammer Vermintide 2, a game known for its chaotic action and demanding visuals, pretty much a Left 4 Dead clone, but not in a bad way obviously. So I had to set everything to the lowest settings to get a playable performance. Initially it wasn't too bad, the game managed to hold a steady FPS in quiet moments, but as soon as things got messy, like when hordes of enemies started flooding the screen, the framerate took a dive, dropping to around 30 FPS. But weirdly, it wouldn't go under 30 FPS. I haven't seen anything like this. Maybe it's like a weird setting or something. But anyways, that kind of jumpy framerate really breaks the immersion. On 1 second it feels smooth, and next thing you know you're stuck on that rocky 30 FPS framerate, which is kind of annoying. Now let's also talk about the settings, because everything looks like it has been coated with a layer of Vaseline. The textures were blurry, the details were practically non-existent, and overall the image was just smeared, man. Don't get me wrong, the GT 1030 does its best to keep the game running, but Vermintide 2 is a demanding title that pushes this poor little thing to its maximum potential. While it's technically playable, the experience isn't ideal. For a fast-paced action game, these framerate dips and smudgy visuals are kind of hard to ignore. So yeah. All in all, I'm pretty satisfied with my Frankenstein over here, and it can finally run Red Dead Redemption 1 with no poppings, and Crash Bandicoot finally doesn't have blurry textures. So yeah, we're done here. Just changing from an HDD over to an SSD and swapping our GPU for a better one, and we're just chilling, no problem. Or are we? Oh, we're never chill, man. Get this 1030 out of my face, we ain't done here, nuh-uh. The now 4th most popular graphics card in Steam hardware survey, none other than the GTX 1650. It's insane how popular this graphics card still is in 2025. So after struggling with those old forgotten GPUs for so long, it's finally time to actually take some action. I decided that enough was enough. It's time to say goodbye to blurry potato visuals and actually experience what games are supposed to look like. This card doesn't just run Red Dead Redemption without visual bugs, it laughs at the bugs, stomps on them, elbow drops them, and flexes on the GT 1030 and GTX 750 like they're kids' toys. So, it's time to put this baby to an actual test and see what this office computer can actually do. But because life is not perfect, we got a problem, and this GPU doesn't fit into the case. But you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice the side panel to get a lot more performance. So fuck it. It is what it is. It's gonna be naked. Who cares? If it works, right? Okay, we're in. There she goes. She's hanging again by nothing, just pure willingness to hold into the motherboard, but yeah, that's all I can do for now. Anyways, it's time to power it on once again. So because the monitor that I'm currently using only has a VGA input, and this graphics card obviously doesn't have a VGA input, I had to use an HDMI adapter, but guess what? Didn't work. And look at this horrible messy setup, man. I wanna puke so bad, but that's what we gotta do now. What the fuck? There was a sparkle. Oh shit. Well, that's not a good sign. And no picture. Well, that was not how I expected things to go. I initially didn't have any picture on the screen, but after I reset it once, it's fine now. So let's test out some games, shall we? And holy shit, as you can see, it's a night and day difference. I sold my GT 1030 for 45 euros, cause I guess it's more looked after, and I got this GTX 1650 for 90 euros. So we spent approximately like 45 euros, which is not bad at all. For 45 euros getting a 1650 is just a steal in my opinion, and where I live. Anyways, as you can see, the performance is insane. This computer is pretty much very close to my main computer. I just need to put some more RAM and change this horrible, disgusting case. It's small and thin, but again, it can't fit a single thicker graphics card. I mean, I could get a thinner 1650, but that's way more expensive and I couldn't find one. So in my opinion, I guess getting a new case would be much better and it would look much cooler, because yeah, this looks very, very bad. Anyways, here are the performance on some games, and as you can see, they're flying. I'm not done with this computer. There's still some more stuff that I gotta do, but that should be for another video. And yeah, enjoy this little montage of the games and some gameplay, some horrible gameplay of mine. So that's where we stand with this €38 now PC. Upgrading it with a GTX 1650 has brought some impressive performance improvements, but the journey isn't over yet. I still plan to swap out the case for something cleaner and more modern, and of course add some more RAM to unlock its full potential. But those upgrades are stories for another day and another video. For now, this build shows just how much you can achieve with a bit of patience and a tight budget. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next chapter in this budget PC saga.